Tiki Hut Media. Pop the top on your favorite beer or whatever you drink from Tiki Hut Media. This is Soul Ramblings with Jerry Wicker.
Hey there, got the beer popped open and ready to start this new episode of Soul Ramblings Podcast, coming to you from our studios in Tennessee at Tiki Hut Media. And of course, as you know, this is Thanksgiving week, and we're going to focus on gratitude and Thanksgiving as we talk about faith and life on this episode of Soul Ramblings Podcast. I want to remind you to go over to Substack and check out our blog over there. You can also listen to podcast episodes on Substack. And you can subscribe absolutely free. There is an option to have a paid subscription. There's no benefit, there's no extra material you'll get as a result of being a paid subscriber. But I do encourage you to subscribe to the blog and receive not only blog posts, but new podcast episodes in your inbox each week. You can subscribe for free if you're so inclined to do that, or you can subscribe with a monthly gift of $5. Soul Ramblings is supported by generous readers and listeners just like you. There are no grants, we have no ads, no institutional backers, we don't list sell here. And I know during these economic times, I know paying for every podcast you subscribe to is not in the cards for everyone, and I certainly can't afford to do that either. However, if you can afford it, would you prayerfully consider a paid subscription to help keep us going? I would really appreciate it. Like I said, only $5 a month or $50 for a year. If you can't afford it, there's no explanation required, no worries. Sign up for free. Head over to our Substack page, link is in the show notes, and sign up for a paid or free subscription. Either way, subscribe, grab a beer, come on in. All are welcome, and I want to thank you for being here. And it's hard to believe 2023 has been a whirlwind year for, I know, Beth and I personally, and probably for you too in many other ways. And as we get to the holiday season, we're already here. It seems like just yesterday we were celebrating New Year's Day for 2023, and here we are back at the holiday season again. It seems like we just turned around twice, and here we are. We get to this point of taking a pause. I think we need to do this frequently, more frequently than just once a year, weekly at least. Sunday would be a good day to do that and take your Sabbath. But at any rate, we do pause during this time to reflect on what we're truly thankful for and what we have gratitude for. And if you want to express thankfulness for the people, things, and experiences in your life, that's great. Gratitude can not only help form closer, more satisfying bonds with others, but it feels good too. And so we're going to have a list of things to be thankful for in different areas of life. You know, gratitude or thankfulness is often considered to be just a positive emotion. Expressing and experiencing thankfulness is strongly linked with happiness or well-being, but I would say that it is more linked to being joyful. Thankfulness leads to joyfulness. In short, being thankful feels good, is good for us, not only produces happiness, but produces joy. And joy is different from happiness in that happiness depends on what's happening. However, joy is more deep than that. It's deeper than that. You can be full of joy no matter what the situation is, no matter what's happening. And it's not always easy to think of things to be thankful for, especially when we are in the midst of some trials or troubles or tribulations. So, a couple of things to be thankful for today. Having air to breathe. Yeah, you woke up and you're breathing in oxygen. The people we have in our lives. To be alive. You could be thankful for each new day, for the opportunities to even learn from our mistakes. For that hot cup of tea or coffee or that cold beer you're drinking right now. You could be thankful to have the ability to learn new things, to have a place to sleep at night, for simply existing, for health, even though it may not be perfect, that you'll get to live today and hopefully, prayerfully, tomorrow too. For family, these are just a few of the things that we can be thankful for. And taking a few minutes each day to practice thankfulness and gratefulness can be a cool and fun way to boost joy. Hopefully you got some ideas here that will help you think of even more things to be thankful for. And I would love for you to share those with me. You can shoot us an email at soulramblingspodcast@gmail.com. Again, our email address, soulramblingspodcast@gmail.com. God has made many promises to you, and He intends to keep every single one. But in today's world, it's easy to forget God's goodness and His grace. And that's why we're focusing on thankfulness and gratitude this week, this Thanksgiving week here on Soul Ramblings. What weighs your mind today? What weighs on your mind? What's pulling your spirit in different directions and just flat wearing you out? My friend, God knows about them all. He understands that you're weak and can only handle so much at one time. That's why He promises to help. He will carry your burdens for you. There's no time or weight limit to make Him say, "Yo, you've reached your quota for today." No, He doesn't say that. His strength is limitless, and no amount of trouble is too hard for Him. He finds great pleasure in helping and caring for your every need, but you've got to cast them into His hands. Then trust and rest in knowing He's got them under control. When you're in the midst of a struggle, though, whether tragedy, sickness, betrayal, or hardship, human nature wants us to look at the problem and do what's natural. Worry, fret, get even, get revenge. But God gives another option. Trust in Him. When you do, you'll receive His peace, His perfect peace for the very moment you're in. He knows all you're facing, and even with that chaos ensuing on the outside, you can walk in the fullness of His grace and peace on the inside. What are you going to trust Him with today? I mean, have you ever thought that while Jesus walked the earth, He walked with the Father's joy? Yeah, even casting out demons, healing the sick, walking and preaching to the point of exhaustion. Jesus was joy-filled. And before He left the earth, He said that when you remain in Him and live out His purpose for your life, you can have His joy too. In fact, His joy is made complete in you. This means that no matter what work or challenges you face, you can accomplish and overcome each with His joy to the fullest. From the time we're born, we're conditioned by cause and effect. If we do something good, we're recognized and praised. If we make a mistake, we're judged and held accountable until it's made right. We cause our actions to affect reward, acceptance, and restitution. That's why it's so hard for so many of us to grasp this concept of grace. Out of His mercy, Christ died for us in order to remove man-made conditions so that we could live free under God's grace. The ultimate cause of Jesus' death affected freedom and grace in our lives. We no longer have to do anything except believe and accept it. Have you done that? If you have, that is definitely something to be thankful and grateful for over this Thanksgiving weekend and even beyond. Rejoicing, praying, and expressing gratitude, that stuff is easy to do when life is going good. It's going smoothly. But what about when you're struggling just to get out of bed? Jesus knew you'd have difficult times, and His antidote for a stifled spirit is praise, not for the struggle, but for His presence and promise of eternal life with Him. He loves you, He died for you, and those are all the right reasons to rejoice in Him and be glad no matter what. I mean, imagine lying in bed at night. You're wrapped up in your sheets, replaying the day in your mind, all the things you wish you'd said or done differently, or maybe your soul is downcast because of an overwhelming problem. You may even wish you could hit replay and start over. Well, actually you can't. With each new dawn, with every new morning, God's love and mercies are there waiting for you to soak them in and start fresh and start anew. Yesterday and its regrets, they're over. and His faithfulness and love are still burning strong with each new morning. And all of these experiences bring moments of delight in the Lord. As you spend more and more time in His creation, in His Word, in prayer, He plants seeds of desire for His purposes for you. As you give Him your heart, He sings back to yours, calling you to fulfill the exact purpose He's created you for. It'll be more than you could ever imagine. You are a masterpiece in the making. Over the Thanksgiving holiday, I invite you to get social and connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. Got links to the Soul Ramblings podcast social media pages in the show notes of this episode. Also, a great time to check out the Soul Ramblings playlist, the Soul Ramblings podcast playlist over on Spotify. Got a link to that in the show notes. Invite you to go over there, check that out. You can even, if you are a subscriber on Spotify, you can follow us there. And I would invite you to give me your suggestions. Shoot me an email, soulramblingspodcast@gmail.com, on what you would like to see on that playlist. What would you add? And as we wrap up, I want to wish you a happy, safe, and blessed Thanksgiving holiday and leave you with these words from Paul in Philippians 4:8. Whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there's any excellence and if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Not only think about them, but be thankful and give God the praise over this Thanksgiving weekend, and then start making that a daily practice. That brings us to the end of this episode of Soul Ramblings Podcasts from Tennessee. I want to thank you for the gift and the privilege of your time. I know there are a lot of podcasts you could listen to out there and spend your valuable time listening to, and you chose to listen to us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I hope today's episode was beneficial and entertaining to you. If it was, be sure to shoot us an email or reach out to us on our social media pages. I'm Jerry Wicker. See you next week. And as always, thanks for listening to Soul Ramblings Podcast. Thanks for being here. Grace, peace, cheers.
Thanks for listening to Soul Ramblings with Jerry Wicker. Download new episodes every week. And if you haven't already, subscribe and be sure to leave us a rating and review. Soul Ramblings is a Tiki Hut Media production.